to another Hi event right here on Hi TV, your luxury channel. I'm here at the IIHS Multiversity here in Kerawalapitia to witness the successful signing of the MOU between IIHS and the Coventry University. My name is Dima. Stay tuned with Hi Events to find out more.
Today, we are here to illuminate the International Institute of Health Sciences in Sri Lanka and its collaboration with the renowned Coventry University in the UK. It's not just a partnership, it's a journey towards excellence. I am Ayesha Nethmini, a third-year student following the Bachelor's of Biomedical Sciences from Coventry University, UK at IIHS. And it's my pleasure to be your host for the day.
I have Dr. Kitsiri Edrisinghe here with me today. Now, congratulations, Doctor, on the successful signing of the MOU. Let's talk about the partnership that you have going on with Coventry University. It's been a long partnership. You've been together for a while in terms of the partnership and the future prospects that we can expect.
Yeah, it's today's event is one of the milestones that IIHS had. We have been working with Coventry for the last almost 10 years. And we initially had students who studied part of their program in Sri Lanka and then moved into England. Then what they did was they started delivering their total programs in Sri Lanka. So that would add that added value to especially nurses in Sri Lanka. They had a top-end qualification they got for a fraction of a cost, like a 1/20th of a cost in Sri Lanka. So that has added value to our industry, where our nursing care has upgraded because of their knowledge component. It's gone up. And then parallelly, some of them have started going out of the country as well, because it's a globally recognized qualification. In healthcare industry, the difference between the other industries are having a qualification won't do. You have a registration to practice. It's a regulated industry. So for regulatory authority to accept a qualification, that has to be of a different level. So therefore Coventry is one of them. It's a globally, anywhere in the world, it's recognized. And beauty of this particular industry is wherever you go, there are enough jobs for you. Any country, the workforce problems are there. So our solution together, what we are going to do is to attract many students from Asia to Sri Lanka, and then give them a globally recognized qualification, and then help them to find their jobs in the first world. That's maybe National Health Services in UK or wherever that they wanted to go. Secondly, to upskill the knowledge and skill of the existing professionals. Like in Sri Lanka, what we did, we have graduated almost 800 government nurses through Coventry University qualification. That's a lot. And a similar thing we are hoping to do in the South Asia. So the same problems that we are having are present in all the South Asian countries. So as always, IIHS is more of a national venture to safeguard or improve the dollar reserves in Sri Lanka by doing all these projects. And Coventry University as a group, they are looking at development of the countries, different countries. So they are present in Africa, Egypt, they are present in Middle East. So this is the first health hub that they are going to envisage in. So the whole idea is to get the Coventry University professionals and the students and staff to support us to have a branded campus of Coventry. If we do that, later on what will happen is that there will be student migration. For example, a nurse could study a module in Sri Lanka and then go to Egypt and do a module, and then go to Oman and do. So that's what a wonderful concept that we are creating. So that, because today's world, the youth would like to migrate and gain experience, not only knowledge, different countries. So you're basically creating global professionals. Today is an important day for all of us. It's one of the milestones of IIHS, expanding our relationships and the collaboration with Coventry University, UK. And just to give you a brief on who we are, we have a vision to transform people, community and the landscape. We have a history of almost 21 years of doing this. This started with an excellent idea of how we could create a center to export skilled labor. Tomorrow we are really looking at more of a supporting, stimulating this project, through this project, to create a sustainable city in the north of Colombo. And then of course we are looking at hospital projects as well as the social care projects as well, that all would support us to create top-end healthcare professionals to the world, as well as to support local communities.
I have Professor Richard Wells here with me. Now, Richard, congratulations on today and signing of the MOU as well. Let's talk about the partnership that you have going on with IIHS and having IIHS as a branded Coventry University establishment.
Thank you very much. It's a great day here today to have signed this MOU, and we're really looking forward to having IIHS as part of our branded campus network. It's really important to the way the group works globally, because it enables us to do so many more things and to offer education all the way around the world. In addition, it gives us that chance to give students the possibilities to move around our branded network. So to study part of their time in Sri Lanka, part of their time in the UK, perhaps part of their time in Egypt or say Morocco, all sorts of opportunities. Additionally, we can do the same with staff, getting staff the opportunity to move around our sites and see different parts of the world and the way that different operations in different parts of the world operate. Because I think the one thing that we can learn through education and global education is that different societies all have so much to learn from each other. And it's really important that it's not just students that get to see that, but also our staff as well. I think the biggest thing for me, and the difference between when I was a student, which is quite a long while ago now, and the students of today, is graduates need to be able to work in a global job market. And the only way really to give them the expertise to do that is to train them in a global environment. And the network of branded campuses that we have around the world enables us to truly deliver that global experience. And that's what's really important, giving the students the opportunities that they need in order to be able to work and get that career in the future.
This signing of the MOU really is the next step in a long journey. As we've already heard, we've been a decade working together, and certainly Coventry University Global Education Group, as we are now expanding and developing our branded campus network, sees the provision of such collaborations as a key element of what the future will hold, particularly within health education. I kind of sit here today with two hats on. Yes, I am the Vice-Chancellor and CEO of Coventry Education Group, but I'm also part of the NHS in the UK. Was on the board of Health Education England, which looked after all of the training and education provision, and now sit on the NHS board for workforce training and education development. And really we see the global nature of health education as being the future. There's no longer the ability of any nation anywhere to really develop its own workforce just for itself.
I have Professor John Lem here with me. Now, John, congratulations on today on the successful signing of the MOU. Let's talk about the partnership that you have going on with IIHS and Coventry University, the partnership and the broadening of horizons in general for education.
Yeah, sure. So this is a relationship that's been going now for 10 years, and this really is the next step in our relationship. The idea of moving to a branded campus, part of our network of branded campuses around the world, and particularly here, of course, focused on health education. Health education post-pandemic is now one of the biggest growth markets. The opportunity for individuals to study on a global scale around health education is something that we're driving extremely hard. So for us, I think the future, as we are seeing here today, is about deeper collaboration, a deeper understanding of what the future might hold, but also the evolution of how that education takes place. So blended learning, use of technology, look at the great facilities that have been developed here. There is no doubt about it, this is one of our leading strategic partnerships.
Sounds fantastic. What are the particular benefits that Sri Lankan students can look forward to with the partnership that IIHS has with the Coventry University?
Well, I think there's two things really. Number one, of course, British education, looking at their higher education development in the UK has been key, but actually bringing together the strengths that we see here in Sri Lanka with the education provision that we've got through our partnership, the opportunities for Sri Lankan students not only then to develop and graduate and operate here in Sri Lanka as part of the health education provision, but actually to become global citizens and travel outside of Sri Lanka, either to the UK or other countries, to operate and develop their own profession, I think is a key element of this.
At the end of 2022, there are around 47,000 students studying for UK awards, and that was an increase alone of 10,000 on 2021. And this growth in transnational education since the late 1990s has been driven also by governments and their intent and ambition to really increase knowledge-based economies. And this certainly chimes with Sri Lanka's ambitions and aspirations, and is mirrored by the UK government's ambition to also establish Sri Lanka as a regional education hub. Globally, Sri Lanka is also an important market for us. I know Kisiri referred to the economy for Sri Lanka, but let's be honest, it's also important for the UK's economy too. Sri Lanka is the third highest transnational education market for the UK, and in Asia, Sri Lanka is the first postgraduate market for the UK in transnational education.
I have Miss Lisa Wanstall here with me, who's a Deputy Commissioner for the UK here in Sri Lanka. Now, Lisa, congratulations on this successful event, and we are happy to have you here. Let's talk about IIHS and the part it plays in bringing Sri Lanka out as an emerging destination for education.
Thank you very much. Well, we're delighted to be here today to witness the deepening of the relationship between Coventry University Group and IIHS. Transnational education is a really important and emerging field of education. It's very important for globally, for all societies to be able to understand how each other's education systems work and how different thematic areas within that education work. So, for example, healthcare, transnational education brings so many advantages in terms of closer research, closer cooperation, exchange of knowledge about skills and techniques and practices, so that we can share learning between not only the UK and Sri Lanka, but between other countries that might come and train here in Sri Lanka. And that will both bring greater skills, but also innovation and cultural understanding.
Something that you spoke about earlier, you said the partnership itself is not only beneficial towards Sri Lanka, but it's beneficial for UK as well. Let's talk a little bit more on that.
Absolutely, it's beneficial for the UK because we then benefit from the knowledge and the skills and the learning of the students here. There are exchange programs too, so there's an opportunity for students from the UK to come to Sri Lanka and benefit and learn here. And it's about basically cross-cultural understanding and skills and professionalization, building a network of professionals that are able to understand each other's working environments, cultural environments, brings the opportunity for exchanges both ways, be that remotely, be that in person, and in terms of mobility.
Coventry University Group is one of the most international and globally focused universities in the world. Not only do we have one of the highest amounts of international students studying with us across our campuses in the UK, we also have just short of 23,000 students studying our degrees across the world. And importantly, for this relationship, we are growing our network of branded campuses across the world in all the regions that we currently work in. So our first campus in Cairo is shortly to be joined by a second one. We have a campus in Morocco, with a further 2 under construction. We have one in Poland, and another one in China on Hainan Island, where John and I will be later this week. But I think importantly, this will be our first health relationship. And as we've heard from a number of the speakers this morning, health is so important to the world at the moment. You only need to turn on the news to realize that the world is a troubled place at the moment. But undoubtedly, one thing that covers all societies in all regions is the need for health and care professionals.
I have Dr. Craig Blythe here with me now. Craig, let's talk about, well, congratulations first of all on the signing of the MOU. Let's talk about the long-term partnership that you have going on with IIHS and the future prospects that Coventry University plans on bringing on to IIHS and Sri Lanka.
I think in many ways today's a natural evolution of the partnership. So we've been partnering with IIHS for over 10 years now, and we started very modestly, and over time that has grown. So we now have, I think, around about 400 graduates in the next few weeks on our nursing courses and health courses. But really excitingly, as we look forward, we are growing the whole portfolio of allied health courses in terms of radiography, physiotherapy, also excitingly social care. When we look around the world at the moment, we have an almost crisis of a shortage of healthcare workers, but we have a real shortage of social care workers. In general, we have an ageing population, and that population needs to be cared for as they get older. So as we move forward, social care is going to be a key element of what we do, alongside a whole range of health and provision that will serve students, I think, really well who want to develop their careers here in Sri Lanka, but also for those students that want to work further afield, and they'll be able to engage with subjects that are in demand, not just in the UK, but Australia, Singapore, and here at home in Sri Lanka. So I'm really excited for the next step for the partnership. I think IIHS has some extremely exciting plans. I'll let them tell you about that. But I think, the last sort of 2 or 3 years have been difficult with the pandemic, but IIHS have come through that. And I think the next 2 or 3 years we'll see some really exciting expansions.
The most important thing for a university is to have great students and great leaders coming to the society. And I think with this collaboration with the Coventry University, I'm sure that the standards of IIHS will go to greater heights. And when it comes to UK, where I am also a graduate from the UK, and it's a wonderful learning institutions in the UK. And I think Coventry comes very high up there. John, you can be justifiably proud that I think you have maintained a very good reputation as far as the world is concerned. And the same manner, Dr. Kitsiri Singh and the team also had done that extra bit in the higher education arena. When you are in the government, you are very skeptical of approving and giving approval letters for universities, because it can boomerang on you, when once you give an approval for a university. And always, IIHS and Kitsiri Singh and the team, Nihal De Silva, and everybody has add value for our approvals and then made us proud of giving that approval.
I have Mr. Orlando Edwards from the British Council here with me at the signing of the MOU. Well, it's lovely to have you here, sir, today. Let's talk about, now you've been here in Sri Lanka for a while. You've experienced our culture, our students, our basically community. Now, having a British qualification from IIHS along with Coventry University, how do you see that as becoming a global passport for a student?
Well, of course, Coventry now ranks, I think, 51st in the Guardian's UK ranking tables. So it's one of the most successful universities up and coming and has a fabulous international network. And the British Council, our remit is to promote international student mobility. What does that mean? It means giving students the skills and the ability to travel around the world, to travel overseas, to travel internationally. Of course, an IELTS, which stands for the International English Language Testing System qualification, an IELTS qualification, enables students to travel overseas. It gives them the English language skills which they will need to thrive and prosper and succeed in the international world, where English, of course, is the global language of research, of communication, of business, of climate change. English is the language that people need to speak. So the British Council, of course, as the UK's international organisation for cultural and education relations, specialises in teaching English and supporting students with their English needs. There are lots of free resources online. Go to teachingenglish.org, and as a student of English, you can find all sorts of resources and training materials. And of course, it's possible to learn at one of our centres here in Colombo, Kandy or Dublin.
Dr. Nihal De Silva here with me, who's a co-founder of IIHS. Dr. Nihal, always a pleasure talking to you, and another successful signing. Congratulations, first of all. Same question. How do you feel seeing IIHS come such a long way?
22 years since we founded it, and I'm full of emotion, as I usually am when it comes to IIHS. But this is like the pinnacle of our achievement so far. I'm sure that the pinnacle will get taller as we go, and we have wonderful support from everybody, and now the support is also from international sources, and I can't believe that we have achieved this in a short time of 22 years.
I have Dr. Amal Harsha here with me, who's always a happy, smiling face when it comes to IIHS. Now, congratulations on this MOU signing, Doctor. Let's talk a little bit about how far IIHS has come and the future prospects for Sri Lankan students.
Yeah, Dima, it's not only for Sri Lankan students now. Now it's for the one-third of the whole world population. Because I think, around Sri Lanka, there are about one-third of the world population. India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, all that. I mean, when they want to get a degree from the UK, they'll have to move to UK, get the visa, and then go and get the degree from the UK. Now, they can come to Sri Lanka and get a UK degree from Sri Lanka. And therefore, that's an amazing opportunity, not only for Sri Lanka, but for the region as well. And therefore, whenever we come to Bima, we always see that there's different heights of operation for IIHS. Therefore, I congratulate IIHS and hope that they will do very well in time to come.
I wish to thank all the professionals who gathered today to grace us with your presence and for being an integral part of this momentous occasion. The organizing committee, thank you for your wonderful arrangement to make this event more memorable.
IIHS, as always, is creating innovative pathways for our students here in Sri Lanka. As always, we wish them all the very best. Until we see you again with another Hi event, take care and be safe.